I'm on day 6 of the 30-day challenge of the LG Optimus G Pro, and there are things I love about this phone and things that I think need work, particularly when compared to the current flagship phablet device, the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. I'll tell you what I love about this and the time that I've worked with it and some of the areas where I think it needs improvement in this day 6 update of the 30-day challenge. I start out with the on-screen keyboard, but really where I want to start out are the specifications on the LG Optimus G Pro, because when you look at this device from a comparison standpoint versus the Galaxy Note 2, this thing is better in almost every way specifications-wise. It's got a 1080p HD display, so at best the 720p display on the Galaxy Note 2. It's a beautiful display all around, very clear, very easy to read. 2 gigabytes of RAM, a bigger 3140 milliamp hour battery, more megapixels on the camera, 4G LTE connectivity. Now the downside is this is only available on AT&T. So, you know, that's kind of a frustration for a lot of people if you're obviously on Verizon or Sprint or T-Mobile. You're either going to have to switch or you're going to have to pick up an unlocked version of this if you're on T-Mobile, or kind of out of luck, you're going to have to go with the Note 2. But from a specification standpoint, I'm very impressed with this. This is the best thing LG has put out in some time, and I've always been a fan of LG, or quite a few of LG products, I should say, like the G2 and more. On T-Mobile, they are kind of an underdog when it comes to the Android race. They oftentimes will release something that's really cool, and don't get me wrong, LG has had plenty of flop products, if you will, but they've released some cool stuff over the years that have just been kind of glazed over in lieu of other things that have come out around the same time. The LG Optimus G Pro is one of those. The G2, for example, was fantastic on T-Mobile, or G2X, I should say, was fantastic on T-Mobile. Not the G2, the G2, well, the G2 is fine, but the G2X is really what I'm talking about by LG, was fantastic all around, but it was glazed over by other stuff at the time. But what I want to focus on here in this Day 6 update, a couple of the things I'm finding out that are just better from previous versions of LG's products. One is the keyboard. This is a 5.5-inch display, much like the Galaxy Note 2. You've got a 4-row QWERTY keyboard with a spacebar row, period row, and then you've got this up here at the top as well, to total 5 rows, a dedicated number pad as well. It's incredibly easy to type on. The quick brown fox. Well, I can't type today. Fox is happy to be here. Pretty easy and quick to type on all around, but this phone is fast. It's got a quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU, so all around it is a zippy device by every stretch of the imagination. Little to no lag on this device. This is unlike the Galaxy S4, where it's seeing quite a bit of lag to be a new flagship product. This thing moves and moves quickly, and even within LG's user interface, it's been upgraded and improved all around. You can see here, for example, I can swipe stuff to remove, and it removes pretty quickly. Smart Share won't go away. To fix that after the video cuts, but you can see editing here where I can edit my quick settings. So LG's had this for some time, and when you compare this to the Samsung Galaxy S4, just comparing it to that because they're both Korean companies, they're both Android devices, this has had it for some time, the ability to edit these quick settings, and the Galaxy S4 just got that with Android 4.2.2 and a newer version of TouchWiz. Now, where this thing fails, at least for me in comparison to the Note 2, the Q-Slide applications are nice, and you can pull up stuff like Notepad, for example, and multitask around on this device. You could type a note here, for example, and you can save it, and you can make the transparency different colors, or I should say different levels of transparency. So if I want to make it like that while I'm browsing, I can do that. It's a little bit less intrusive. Boom, 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 all around the home screens. You could do that as well, but it's not necessarily as robust as the Galaxy Note 2. It doesn't have the S Pen functionality, and yes, even though you have the shortcut button over here where I can do some notes and take advantage of that, it doesn't come with an S Pen or anything out of the box that can take advantage of this. So that's something to keep in mind. Remove that so you can see the home screen again. So definitely has some multitasking capabilities, and within the multitasking capabilities, some of these are very unique. That said, it still could use some work to catch up to the Note 2's level of productivity. So it's going to be like everything else in this industry. It's going to depend on what's most important to you. From a hardware standpoint, this thing beats the Note 2. It's faster, it's got a better display, more megapixels in the camera, and while we'll do separate videos covering most of that stuff, specs, all better almost always, or almost all across the board than the Galaxy Note 2. That said, the Galaxy Note 2, they have a huge productivity suite on the Note 2, and it continues along with updates to the Note 2, and that's something where I feel like this does lack a little bit. Q-Slide's kind of nice, but still could use some work in comparison to the Note 2. Very similar design language here as well. Back menu, physical home button. You got your power button on the right side, your volume rocker, and that shortcut button up here on the left. Micro USB charging port at the bottom, 3.5mm headphone jack up top, and an IR port as well. Because like the HTC One and the Galaxy S4, you do have a quick remote where you can program this to your living room TV or perhaps your workout room TV, etc., and use this while you're on the fly, which is a cool little feature. So display is beautiful. We'll talk about that more in a next update. Hit me up on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron with what you want to see covered in this 30-day challenge with the LG Optimus G Pro, whether it's screen, speeds, network tests, camera settings. I want to know from you what you want to see covered, because I'll do a video at some point in the 30-day challenge where it's just dedicated to answering your questions. So get those in and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. But overall, very impressed with the speed. Just from a fluidity standpoint, this device is the cat's meow. And yes, I did just say cat's meow on PhoneDog. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you want to see on PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. I'll be back soon with another update in the 30-day challenge with the Optimus G Pro.